Good morning, everyone. Today is Monday, and we are in the village of Queenston today. And it's a beautiful, sunny morning. So the town of Queenston is a nice small town just outside of Niagara Falls. And we're just going to go for a tour here and show you the sights. It's also known as being a place where there was once a battle here during the War of 1812. And we're starting off here just outside of Mackenzie Printery and Newspaper Museum. So I guess you can go in there and see historical how they did printing back in the day. I see a sign about a tree here. Let's go see this. Oh, it says Seeds of Reform. On April 18th, 1824, William Lyon Mackenzie planted 5 seeds from a honey locust tree in recognition of the publication of the first issue of his Colonial Advocate. 30 years later, in 1854, when Mackenzie revisited Queenston, he editorialized to commemorate the day that transformed a quiet, peaceful, obscure trader into an ardent colonial politician and public censor. I then planted in front of my dwelling a row of acacia or locust trees and a grapevine, and had the pleasure last week of seeing them grow luxuriously. 2 of Mackenzie's trees still stand guard at this historic site, a living memorial to an early Canadian publisher and political activist. Oh wow. So these are the trees that he planted, 2 of them, and the one over there with the ivy growing up the tree. Beautiful. Wow, and they've lasted this long. So there you go, a little piece of history. And there's an old printing press here on display. This rare Canadian-built press, now inoperable, was manufactured at the Joseph Hall Works in Oshawa, Ontario in the 1870s. The volunteer committee has chosen it from the Mackenzie Heritage Printery collection for display on this historic site. Now, if you want to visit Queenston, it's directly off of the Niagara Parkway, and there's different exits. This is one here. You can take right off of the parkway to get here. And it's a very quiet, peaceful little neighborhood. And we're just going to make our way down Queenston Street, all the way down, and look at the different places along the way. And there's a few things over here I want to show you. You can see in the distance there is the Brock Monument, and that is located at Queenston Heights Park. And I once climbed up that tower. It's like 245 steps approximately to climb up the tower, but the views around are amazing. So yeah, that's the monument, and he's also buried there at the bottom of the tower underneath. So here we are. You can see there's a horse statue here on display. See if I can get a better view of him. Here we go. So this is Alfred, and it tells you the story about Alfred and what happened. So it says, early on the morning of October 13th, 1812, after galloping 7 miles from Fort George, General Brock tethered his gray horse. General Brock tethered his gray horse Alfred here in the village of Queenston in order to lead a charge on foot to repel the invading enemy. Brock was killed, leading the attack. Colonel MacDonald then took command until General Scaife could arrive from Fort George with reinforcements. MacDonald rode Alfred to lead another charge. He was mortally wounded, and Alfred was killed, part of the price of saving Canada on that faithful day. They also serve who only stand and wait. And Ralph Sketch is a sculptor in 1976. So that was a view here. This is what Sir Isaac Brock's horse looked like, Alfred. So not too far from the horse monument there is another monument, and it says, near this spot, Major General Sir Isaac Brock, Provisional Lieutenant, Governor of Upper Canada, fell October 13th, it's hard to read that, 1812, while advancing to repel the invading enemy. So somewhere near here is where he fell. Now there's another right up here. It says Indians at Queenston Heights, warriors of the 6 nations of Iroquois, Mohawks, Oneidas, Onondagas, Cayugas, Senecas, Tuscaroras, mainly from the Grand River, fought as allies of the British in this historic battle with the Americans. Speaking distinctive dialects with different religious beliefs, these Indians were drawn together for the battle by John Norton, a resourceful and courageous commander. Norton, a man of Cherokee and Scottish ancestry, was a Mohawk by adoption. With John Brant, the youngest son of Joe Brant, and John Barefoot, a veteran of the American Revolutionary War, the Iroquois warriors fought for their own survival as a people and in support of the British. Okay, and we're gonna keep going on our walk now. It's a beautiful area if you ever want to come for a walk here. Now we're going to continue on down Queenston Street, and we're at Queenston and Clarence Street. And you can see on the right there's Canada Post. Beautiful place, massive home. There's also a few places to stay in this little town. There's a few inns here, and I'll take you to see those near the end of our walk. But you can see it's pretty quiet here and peaceful. Maybe if you want a little getaway away from the busy city, this would be a nice place to stay. And there's also a waterfront nearby. We'll go see that too. And we're coming up to another famous spot right here. On the left, there's Laura Secord's homestead here. So I'm sure some of you are familiar with who Laura Secord is. This is her home right here. And I'm not sure if they're open today, but they are on different days. And I said there's a monument here that was placed here in 1901 by Women's Literary Club of St. Catherine's to honor Laura Secord, and was rededicated in 1972 by members of the club on the occasion of their 80th annual pilgrimage. It's like a nut tree, chestnut tree maybe. Oh, nice gardens too. So it says Laura Ingersoll Secord, 1775 to 1868. Born in Great Barrington, Massachusetts, Laura Ingersoll came to Upper Canada with her father in 1795 and settled in this area. About 2 years later, she married James Secord, a United Empire Loyalist, and within 7 years they had moved to this site from nearby St. David's. From here, during the War of 1812, Laura Secord set out on an arduous 19-mile journey to warn the local British commander, Lieutenant James Fitzgibbon, of an impending American attack. The courage and tenacity displayed on this occasion in June 1813 places her in the forefront of the province's heroines. Miss Secord's house is a simple frame building, was restored in 1971 to 72, and remains as a memorial to this exceptional act of patriotism. There you go, there's another view of the home there, and there's a nice well beside it. And it looks like the Wego bus stops right here, orange line. So there you go, you can take the Wego bus that heads to Niagara on the lake and stop here. Now, this town is where I drive on my Saturday drives. I often come through here because I just like how peaceful it is here. It's so quiet. So I usually drive through and then I go see the waterfront for a few minutes. Oftentimes, more so on the weekends, you'll see people like this person cycling through here because there's a connection from the Niagara Parkway trails, and then you follow it all the way to the end of the street, and then it continues on up through to Niagara Falls. Founding of Queenston. There's a sign there. We'll see what it says. Queenston, following the loss after the American Revolution of the Niagara River's East Bank, a new portage around Niagara Falls was established in the 1780s, with Queenston its northern terminus. Wharves, storehouses, and a blockhouse were built. Robert Hamilton, a prominent merchant considered the village's founder, operated a thriving transshipment business known as the Lower Landing. It was named Queenston by Lieutenant Governor Simcoe during the War of 1812. The village was badly damaged. Here lived such well-known figures as Laura Secord and William Lyon Mackenzie. Despite loss of commerce following the opening of the Welland Canal in 1829, Queenston later served as a terminus for the province's first horse-drawn railway. Queenston was incorporated into the town of Niagara-on-the-Lake in 1970. And there's things here you can scan, so you can learn things. You can read it on your phone. Got my coffee for the walk. Dumfries Street is where you would go if you want to go down to the waterfront or to the jet boat tours. That's also located there at the Niagara River. Now, I heard that this once used to be a pub at one time in the 1800s. Now it's somebody's home. It says 1820, circa 1820 on that house. Now we're at Highlander Street. A lot of old Land Rovers here. Some newer homes here as well. This one looks pretty old. There's a park here on the right. And there's a building next to the park. And I believe it was once called Laura Secord School, but it no longer operates as a school as far as I know. It's Brock Builders. They do a lot of restoration projects to old homes, heritage homes. And there's the back side of the school there, but we'll be walking on the other side of it. You'll be able to get another view of it. Also, up the road from here, there's a museum, if you ever want to check it out. And there's a woman that works at the museum, and she also does tours here in the town. So I think if you just get in touch with the museum, you can get that set up if you're visiting. Oh, this one's for sale. Wow, look at the massive property. Wow. Beautiful backyard. Hello. And we're just coming up to the next historical place up here on the left. And there's another part of the Legacy Trail you can follow this way here, down this road. And it says friendsoflaurasecord.com if you want to Google that. And here it is. Look at this place. Isn't that beautiful? I don't know where this leads to. This looks like it might go right around. And the front of the house, you would drive in off of the parkway. And I believe they hold events here and things, like you can rent it. Different events they have there. Willow Bank, that's what it's called, Willow Bank. So it says Willow Bank, an outstanding example of classical revival architecture. This stately home was begun in 1833 and completed 2 years later. It was erected by Alexander Hamilton, sheriff of the Niagara District and fourth son of the powerful Upper Canada businessman Robert Hamilton, and it possesses a formal elegance befitting the affluence and prominence of the Hamilton family. Construction of fine quality grey stone, Willow Bank is distinguished by 4 pairs of tall white pillars surmounted by a handsome portico. The classic proportions of the structure are enhanced by its majestic setting in spacious grounds overlooking the village of Queenston. So there you go. There's the home. See if I can get a close-up of it there. There you go. You can see here someone left some rocks and some flowers, showing that they have been here. And this just leads up to the main road, and we're going to turn around. There's some nice properties here too, and we're going to head down that street right there. And this is D Road right next to it, right next to Willow Bank. And we're going to be going on to Walnut Street. And at the end of this street, you're going to see a very nice home. And I heard that at one time, I don't know if it still is, but it was owned by a couple in Toronto that were surgeons, and that they would come here on the weekends on their boat. So, but I don't know if they're still living there or not. Oh, it's a nice driveway. So that home backs onto the Niagara River, of course, just on the other side of this property. And then it's a dead-end street right there at the end. You can see here, you probably get to see a bit of it as we walk by. It's called Greystone. Let me see if I can get a better view of it. There we go. That's a bit better. I'll zoom in on it for you so you can see it. Beautiful, isn't it? Then we're gonna cross back over. And we're on Princess Street now. We're gonna keep going down Princess Street for the walk. There's the front of the school, the old school. It says 1914 public school. See if I can get a better view of it, the sign. It's a nice looking building though. It's really nice. They use it for something else now, but I forget what they use it for. Another beautiful house right there. Now we're coming up to the other side of that park we passed by earlier. This was maybe the schoolyard at one time, I'm thinking. And it looks like there's some type of structure there. Old structure from something. And you can see here a very old building here. Stone cottage. Circa 1810. And this just goes, it wraps around. It's like a narrow street and then takes you out by this old church here you're going to see as we walk along here. I'll stay on the sidewalk. Oh, this is really nice. Beautiful landscaping they have. Now we're just coming up to, this way is Maple Street and this is Highlander Street. And you can see there's a church here, Anglican church. And there's a big write-up here about Sir Isaac Brock. And then about the church. It says it was formed in 1817. This first church building erected 1818 to 1820 was located at what is now the junction of Niagara Parkway and York Road. Oh. The Reverend Brooke Bridges Stevens, garrison chaplain at Fort George, was the first priest. This church was destroyed by lightning. For 40 years, the congregation met in various places until 1879, when this present church was complete. It was consecrated by the first bishop of Niagara, Thomas Brock Fuller, godson of Major General Sir Isaac Brock. There you go. And they have service on Sundays. Isn't that a beautiful looking church? See, and there's the road that goes, just loops around and takes you back out to Princess Street. You can see the white picket fence there with a lot of missing fence boards. Now, they say that this house was owned by sisters, I believe, and the family still comes and takes care of it. And you can see they plant flowers along the fence. Still taking care of it. But it's also known as the most Instagrammable house in Niagara. I guess a lot of people really like coming here and taking photos as they pass by. It's been known for that. So now you know. Now you're seeing it for yourself. Even they have a nice little side porch there. Pretty old house though. I don't know what year it is. I'll try to see if I can find out. Number 25, Princess Street. I have quite the property too. And you can see here we're just coming up to the Queenston Waterfront. So that's where you would go if you want to launch a boat. There's a lot of people that go fishing down there. Or you would also go down there to get to the jet boat tours. And we'll go see that after. Another interesting looking home right here. Beautiful tree over there with the pink flowers blooming on it. Now we're at Partition Street again, and now this is called Front Street from here. You can see the sign, Front Street, and then Princess Street to the right. We're now coming up to the inns I was talking about. You can see here, this one's called South Landing Inn. Now, I mentioned earlier that the WeGo bus comes through here. I noticed the sign, but I think it's only until October that the WeGo bus orange line goes to Niagara on the Lake. South Landing Inn, prior to 1814. Sorry, I'm going on an incline here. Here it is. There's a view of it. It's like a nice little place, and there's another one right here, and then there's one further down. Little place you can come sit outside, I believe. There's this one here. It looks pretty cozy. It's got the nice Muskoka chairs, or Adirondack chairs. This is called the Quaint Motel. I don't know how long this one has been here, but it's got quite a few rooms, and it looks well kept. And if you want a quiet place to stay, this is it. You're gonna have some peace and quiet here for sure. The Quaint Lounge. Some have nice big balconies there. There's a trail leading through there, some type of hiking trail. That might lead you to that old suspension bridge. It might. This place here across the street. Nice home. Oh, this one up here we're coming up to now. Clarence and Front Street. Bed and breakfast. There you go, they have bed and breakfast here. The Red Coat. Bed and breakfast. I've seen this picnic company in Niagara on the Lake. They'll fix you up a pre-made lunch, and you can take it with you if you're visiting, all ready to go. You don't have to do anything. A nice place, nice bed and breakfast, circa 1904, I think. 1901, 5 Front Street. Okay, we're gonna head down to the waterfront now. So we're now heading to our final stop at the Queenston Waterfront. And this roadway leads to the boat ramp. And there's a lot of people who launch their boats there and go fishing in the Niagara River. And some people fish right off of the land. And there's different trails, I believe, you can go down here as well. Here we are. You can see the whirlpool. You can see the whirlpool jet boat heading off in the distance, away on adventure. And this is a view of the river, the Niagara River here. You can see there's the boat launch right there. Someone either leaving or getting ready to go out on their sea-doo. And you can see there's a little pathway there that leads you to where the jet boat tours are. You can see the boats lined up there. So that's where the fun begins, here in Queenston. And if you look across the river, that's the United States. And you can see there's boats and some buildings across. That's the village of Lewiston, where I went one day on the bus ride, right across the river from here. And this river goes all the way out to Lake Ontario. Oh, someone's heading out now. Goes. It tells you here there's a sign that there's invasive grass carp and what they look like. So if you spot any and want to hear about it. Pathway here, and there's all these massive logs. You can come and have a seat and relax. Hi, buddy. Are you having fun? Aw. Hi. Hello. Hi, sweetheart. Hi, you're all wet. Oh my goodness. There it goes. Oh, he's very obedient. He listens to Dad. And this is where the path pretty much ends. It goes through there a little bit. I'll take you through here if I can. Oh, it goes even further down here. And I'm pretty sure I saw some white herons down here when I was pulling up. I don't know if we'll be able to see them. I hope so. So now you've been to Queenston. Now you know what it's like here at the waterfront. If you look carefully, you can see that white heron right through the tree branches there, but he's a little bit far away and I can't get any closer. but there's two of them there. I wanted to show you one last thing before we go. And across the river is a structure of where there used to be a bridge that went across from the United States to Canada. So that's all that's left of it, but you can still see it there sticking out of the side of the hillside. Kind of a neat piece of history. That's going to do it for today's walk, everyone. I hope you enjoyed Queenston. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next video. Bye for now.